I need to vent this story out. This isn't some ghost story or some story about something I got at a garage sale, suddenly dripping blood or anything like that. Just a series of strange events that might have been a coincidence. But if it is just a coincidence, boy, there's a whole lot of coincidences. Okay, before I get started, I may as well introduce myself. My name is Sarah, and I currently live in Attica, Wyoming, although I grew up in Hyde Park, New York. If you've ever seen Nelvana's Care Bears family series, you probably remember the wizard No Heart. While most people think of how ridiculously beat up and cheerful the show was, I remember how No Heart seemed, well, evil in a frightening way. I know he's a bit cliche, stating that he wants to take over the world at one point, bragging about his evilness at another. There were other aspects to him. Do you remember the episode Birthday Bear Blues? In it, No Heart becomes infuriated after the Care Bears laughed at him after he failed to kidnap a Care Bear and a Care Bear cousin. I only remember Gentle Heart Lamb was one of the Care Bears attempting of the kidnapping. When they connected to try and plan to trap the Care Bears in the maze, where they would be separated and he would take them down one by one. Once they were trapped in the maze, he turned into a tiger and then hunted them down. Eventually, he became across Gentle Heart Lamb. He said that he would be having lamb chops. I didn't realize until a couple of days later what he meant. No Heart had planned on eating them in order to get his revenge. I found this strange, since it was supposed to be a kid's show. Then again, half of the Disney villains died in gruesome ways, and heck, sometimes some parents were killed off in those movies. But still, this was a bit out of place, considering the rest of the show's tone. While walking home from school one day, I saw a white tiger-striped cat chewing on a dead mouse. Of course, being a little kid and seeing a cute kitty cat, I went up to pet it. I was about maybe 1 foot away when it turned its head towards me. Although its eyes visually looked like normal cat's eyes, there was something a bit off about them. However, the cat walked up to me and I petted it, and then it proceeded to follow me home, to my childish delight. My parents said we were just keeping it around until someone claimed it, but no one ever did, so we kept it. I named him Wiggly. Wiggly acted like a normal cat for the most part, but he seemed to understand every word I said. One day I received a plush Gentle Heart Lamb after begging my dad for it at the store. Later, when I got home from school, I found Wiggly had torn it to shreds and even eaten a bit of it. I scolded him since he already knew better than to chew on our stuff. He had been very well-behaved cat up until then. I then went to watch Care Bears. A rerun of Birthday Bear Blues was playing. I froze and gazed over at Wiggly, who purred when No Heart approached Gentle Heart Lamb. I told Wiggly to stop creeping me out, prompting Wiggly to meow innocently, and began rubbing against my hand. He always tried this to butter me up, and the sneaky little thing. I settled for turning off the TV and went to my room to do my homework. Wiggly followed me like he usually did, and that was with the end of it for a while. Later, I was painting with my sister when Wiggly knocked over the purple paint and began to roll on it. Again, I scolded him, and when I took outside to wash him, he promptly began howling and struggling. He seemed very upset when I watched his fur coat off. During next week, he ignored me and hissed at me at one point. Apparently, my weird cat had wanted to be purple. Eventually, I had enough. I had a color and curl candy toy that was almost never played with, so there was plenty of purple hair dye left within that set. I proceeded to dye my crazy cat's fur purple, so now he was a purple tiger-striped cat. I got in trouble with my parents later, but when I tried to explain the purple paint incident to them, they didn't believe me. They tried to wash out the dye out of my cat's fur, but it wouldn't come out. Apparently the advertisements were wrong. It didn't wash out easily. Wiggly was a lot happier with me after that, but still acted strange. One night I couldn't even sleep, even though I laid there in bed all night, and I started to get up to go to the bathroom downstairs. When I got to the top of the stairs, I stopped. I could hear a male voice coming from down the stairs. I couldn't recognize the voice, although it did sound familiar. I also couldn't make out what he was saying. I was afraid to scream in case if I caught his attention, and my parents' bedroom was in the basement, so I couldn't tell them either. Eventually the voice stopped and I thought he had left, so I went downstairs, and when I saw him standing there, he turned to me and I froze. It was too dark to make out his features, but I could tell he was tall, had long nails, and his eyes seemed strange. He was wearing what I thought was a dress, but when I realized it was a robe, he suddenly then screamed in anguish. Then I looked down. Wiggly was still scratching his leg until it was bloody. My dad came upstairs with his small pistol and shot the man, killing him. Apparently, he was from the asylum after claiming to be a wizard who had taken the form of a cat. Naturally, no one believed him, but Wiggly disappeared after that night, and we couldn't find him anywhere. I was devastated, having lost my cat. For the reason why I'm telling you this is because recently, I met a man dressed up as No Heart at a costume party. He had purple hair and he was holding a foreign gentle heart lamb stuffed animal, and his name was Wiggins. As I said, this could be a series of Care Bears themed coincidences.